Thank you for coming and help us celebrate the great game of baseball. I have been in this earth a long time, and I know we live in a football crazy area, the football crazy nation, but my number one love is baseball. It always has been and it always will be. And if I live to be 168, which will be another 100 years, I'll always remember when you took that new baseball in the spring out of the box, it just smelled right. So we're here tonight, the Hot Stove League. We're going to honor baseball. I do want to set your mind at ease. Our special guest tonight, we are not having the 23rd retirement party for Dusty Rhodes. So get that out of your mind. I've known Dusty for a long time. I have congratulated him on retiring a number of times. I'm never going to do it again, because if anybody loves baseball more than I do, it's Coach Dusty Rhodes, and I don't think he'll ever will retire. But we'll get to the program. We've got a video we want to show you. We're talking baseball tonight. We're honoring Dusty Rhodes. But before we do anything else, I think we certainly ought to pay allegiance to our wonderful nation. Dr. Nancy Bragan will sing our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last banner yet waved, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Play ball!
Because in 30 years under the Bragans, our minor league franchise, trust me, we are an example for every minor league franchise in the country. Whether it's the wonderful ballpark that we have, just the way our franchise is run. We've got something very proud of here with our minor league team, the Jacksonville Suns, and the Bragans deserve all the credit. To an audience that understands what I'm talking about, but I tell people all the time, you know, if you're looking for something to do, if you want a fun night, a wholesome night, if you want to get a little heartburn from the best sausage dogs in town, then go to the baseball grounds at Jacksonville and enjoy some Suns baseball. So let me introduce you a man who has been here from the very beginning of this current ownership group. He is now owner and president of the Jacksonville Suns, Peter Bragan Jr.
A little look back over 30 years. It doesn't seem like it's been but a few years. No way it seems like 30 years. It just seems like, I don't know, half a dozen years ago. But, moved to Jacksonville, Florida, and opening night in 1985, we had the famous chicken, and the ballpark was packed. I think back then we opened on a Friday night, and just busting at the rafters with the chicken. I think we do have some pictures still of that. And I was just so thrilled, and it's been a long winter, that first winter. And then the very next night, a Saturday night, might have been 1,500, 12 or 1,500. And I sat there next to Daddy. I said, where are they? Where are all the people that were here last night? Where are they gone, Daddy? So years at Wilson Park, and now the 12 years, it'll be the 12th year at the new ballpark. You know, I still think of it as the new ballpark. I think we all do. And this will be the 12th year, so it's moving on pretty good. But the great thing about the ballpark was it doesn't look any different than the day it opened, really. You know, when it first opened, it had that old classic brick and the green steel arches up high, and it had that, looked like it was 30 years old then, and now it's starting to get a little age to it, but it still looks about the same. I'm proud as I can be of the way the ballpark turned out. You know, it really did turn out nice. I think we can all be proud. You know, any baseball in Jacksonville could not survive without the support of you wonderful people right here in this room. And so I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of me and my sister, my wife, and my mother.
We're going to have something like this to sort of thank somebody for contributions to baseball. There literally could not be a better person to honor than Dusty Rhodes. Ladies and gentlemen, a great baseball guy, I don't know what he did this year to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award, but I know what he's done every year since I've known him is a man who loves baseball, loves to teach it, coach it, talk it. He's a baseball man. He's Dusty Rhodes.
Thank you very much. There you go. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That's nice.
Took one of those, but I really appreciate this. One thing about, I was at the University of Florida and the job came over in UNF, and one of the things that I liked about this city, but with not even being here, was that they had a AA baseball team. And I said, man, I don't have a lot of life, but whatever I do, I can always go and watch a AA baseball game. So after going a little bit, they said, look, we're going to bring our AA team up early. Would you be interested in playing an exhibition game against these guys? And I thought it was awesome. I mean, that was the greatest thing going at the time. My players were, here they were afraid, because Randy Johnson was here at one of those times. Okay? But the good thing about it was they weren't going to waste any bruised bodies on the UNF. So but our players got an opportunity to play some guys that made it to the big leagues. And the thing about it was I kept telling them, look, these guys are not wild. They throw the ball in the strike zone, so all you got to do is just contact the ball. I remember we played with wooden bats every year, except one year Detroit was here, and the Detroit AA manager says, you guys want to use aluminum bats, don't worry about it. You can use aluminum bats. Well, that's the only game we won. And the third baseman told me, I was standing in the coaching box, he goes, I forgot how the ball comes off those aluminum bats. I mean, he was playing on the grass, and we hit about 3 or 4 home runs and ended up winning the ball game. Well, the next year we played, they didn't, there was no discussion about the aluminum bats. Everybody grabbed some wood and we went to work. And that was the best years I've been a hitting coach in the Midwest League in Appleton, Wisconsin. Now, if you think baseball has started here, when you go to Appleton, Wisconsin in April, every Latin guy we had every piece of clothes that he could wear on. I mean, I didn't think the uniforms had collars on, but apparently the Latin collars were working. So it would be snow up there. You'd go to the mall and it'd just be giant piles of snow. But it was baseball, and those people are 30 miles from Green Bay, and they're nuts. So the deal is, whenever we played baseball, they would be out there, they'd be tailgating and getting ready for the game. And there'd be 1,500 of them watching the baseball game. And it was a great experience. But the good thing about being in Jacksonville is when you come back, there's always been one stable deal in Jacksonville, and that's the Jacksonville Suns. You can go out there and get some entertainment. It's not expensive. You get to see kids enjoy the game, and now with a new stadium, and I'm always saying a new stadium, but like the new stadium, it's different. It's a family affair. You get families in there, you get kids working around. It's like it was in the old days when everybody went to baseball games. Great experience, and it's been great for me because I actually got married in that little church down the left field line, and I had the reception at the baseball field. So it wasn't a fact about, I wasn't getting married in some place that I didn't know about. It was the idea that I figured I understood that baseball field, and if I was going to go, I was going to go in style. I wasn't going to go for anything. Brewers, after I turned 67, and now I'm a volunteer coach at Flagler, and I got thrown out of the first game as a volunteer coach, and I got suspended for 3 games. I didn't know that rule. They changed the rules since I got out of college. So I missed the next 3 games. Like spring training, they sit down and they talk about players and where they're going to go and where they should be, and anybody in the room can say just about anything. It comes down to maybe one guy saying, I like this guy. He works hard. He represents this organization. We need to give him a chance. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, at least he got a chance. And sometimes just getting that chance can come down to one person. And it's awesome because whenever you have an organization that are good organizations like that, and they have good places to play, to put their minor league teams. I was telling him earlier, you know, our players in AA, when they found out I was from Jacksonville, they all said, man, that's a great place to play. That's a great city, and it's a great place to play. You stay in a good hotel. It's first class. And when you get somebody from another organization telling you that, that means something. It means a lot. But it's been great all the way. David helped me forever. You know, I mean, the good thing about David, he's always been, he'll tell you exactly what he feels. If he don't like you, he don't like you. If he does like you, you're lucky, because it means something. Okay? Thank you very much. I know you're supporters of the Suns, so am I. And I'll see you at the ball game this year. Thank you very much.
What better way to end an evening talking about baseball than with the classic, the immortal, presented by a guy who thinks he's a classic and immortal. How about Peter Bragan Jr. and Casey at the bat?
At the bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but 1 inning more to play. And when Coney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could but get a whack at bat. Why, we put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a Lulu, and the latter was a fake. So upon that stricken multitude, a grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and they saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy, safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from the gladdened multitude, there rose a joyous yell. It bounded from the mountaintop, and rattled in the dell, struck upon the hillside, and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place, pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile on Casey's face. And when responding to their cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him when he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. And while that writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now that leather-covered spear came hurtling through the air, but Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches filled with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm wave on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill that umpire!" shouted someone in the stands. And it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more that spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fraud," cried the maddened thousands, and the echo answered, "Fraud." But one scornful look from Casey, and that audience was awed. They saw his face go stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. They knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. Somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
And the only thing I have left to say, other than thank you,